Welcome to my show. I'm a guest here. Her name is Pamela Robinson. Mrs. Pamela, how are you doing, ma?
I I am fantastic. It's 9:30 in the morning here in the United States, and it's a beautiful day. Where are you?
Located in Nigeria, and it's currently really 100% hot right here. You can see I'm sweating. I also
Oh my.
appreciate you for the time and the opportunity. Firstly, you are a global speaker. You're also a corporate trainer and a leadership mentor. Can you please, Mrs. Pamela, discuss more about yourself and how you are doing currently now, Mrs. Pamela?
I am doing fantastic. I am Pamela. You've already said who I am. I am located in the United States of America, and I love working with people. What I really do is to help people build confidence, help leaders, employees build confidence in order to be effective, not just in their workplace, but in life, in their personal life, and in all their endeavors. So I consider myself a global speaker, a corporate trainer known as the confidence architect. And of course, as I said, I help employees and leaders overcome the number one barrier. You know, that number one barrier that holds people back, a lack of confidence. So my work is really built around, what I call the confidence architect, where C stands for construction, because confidence is not something you are born with. It is definitely something that you build. So I reach out to people and I teach people how to construct confidence from the inside out so that they can communicate clearly, lead boldly, and show up in the strongest with the strongest selves.
Very much beautiful. You said something that is very much profound and powerful. You're a kind of person who likes to work with people. And in regards to the perspective, which make you to be one of the global speaker and also help people reach out to people to
That's
develop
right.
their confidence in regards to leadership. And confidence is not something we are born with. It is something we have to try our best to develop. And also with the experience you've had, Mrs. Pamela, have you written any book or do you plan to write any book in the coming future, Mrs. Pamela?
Currently, I am working on a book. I have a book called The Journey to Your Dreams, and this book will be out in May, but people can start pre-ordering by next week. But I am also working on the Confidence Act book, which will help people realize, because some people do not take action because they feel they are not confident. But today, what I want to tell people is that if you take action, you will build confidence. Confidence is not something you sit on your couch and you develop. It's something that you develop through persistent action.
Completely agree. It's something one has to continue to develop. Someone has to continue to come out, continue to develop that sense of mindset to build a sense of confidence in them. And that is why I would like to drive to people who are really struggling, to be honest, or who are really having the sense of leadership, but they are not in themselves, but they feel like they are not fully ready due to some kind of circumstances. Probably they feel like they are not more confident in some kind of criteria and some kind of position in their lives. How do you think, from the experience you've had, Mrs. Pamela, they can try to begin to step into leadership before confidence starts to catch us up, Mrs. Pamela?
My advice to any aspiring leader or any young people, and lack of confidence is something that affects everyone in this world, to say to them, take baby steps. Start from where you are. No one is perfect. Do not wait to be ready because you may never be. You might take unreadiness to your grave. The best thing is to do is to take baby steps. Take a step back. There is something I call the forward framework, and I incorporate it in everything I do and when I host leadership retreats. I advise leaders to incorporate into their daily lives the forward framework. And what is the forward framework? It's based on three pillars. P, which stands for pause. If you don't know where to start, you don't know where you are, or you just don't know where you're going, you're not sure about the next step, pause. Take a few steps back. Breathe. Breathe in and breathe out. You will be surprised at what inhaling and exhaling can do. Happens when you pause. Pause interrupts. Because when you have clarity, choose, and you choose with courage, knowing full well that the decision you're making is the right one. And the third pillar is definitely to lead, and to lead and inspire others to follow. When you take baby steps from where you are, what you are doing is building confidence, is to be telling yourself, I can do it. And through consistent action, what you're doing is you're building courage and you're increasing your confidence, because the more you do something, the better you will get at it. And the better you get at it, the more belief you will have in yourself. And the more you believe in yourself is the more confidence you will have.
Thank you so much. Now we can know that it starts from we as humans, and we have to start somewhere. And that is the most profound and insightful thing we have to understand. Despite we trying to build confidence when it comes to leadership, it doesn't matter where we need to start from. It can start from our society, a community, or where we find ourselves at large. We can start from there to start to build those kind of issues that we have in our life so that we can build the confidence and also the leadership skills as well. From there, we will start to learn and also see what we can see how we could build in terms of leadership and also perspective as well. And also, you also drive to the point of we pausing, because we have to know when to pause when things are getting too much for us to pick into ourselves. So we have to build this kind of situation so that we can know the right thing to do at the right moment, and also see how we can build ourselves at large as well. I would also like to drive to the point of mentorship, Mrs. Pamela, because mentorship could be in the position to play a role, and it could also be a burden as well. So, what role do you think mentorship plays in shaping emerging leaders? And how do you think listeners can try to find the right voices to learn from without losing their own personal identity, Mrs. Pamela?
Great question. Mentorship is imperative for growth. Without mentors, I wouldn't be where I am today. So, mentorship is extremely important. In order to get to where we want, where we aspire to be, we must first believe in ourselves. And when you believe in yourself, you will show up authentically in everything that you do. When you show up authentically, it means that you will not disown or dishonor your own identity to emulate the identity of a mentor. Now, a mentor is someone who will hold you accountable. A mentor is not someone who will or should tell you how to live your life. What a mentor will do is to hold you accountable, to hold your hands and to help you, to help. You will realize that even some of the ideas or some of the help that you're receiving from your mentor, it's not that you do not know what to do. Sometimes all we need is just someone to hold our hands. And the mentors that work for me may not work for you, because we all have a different identity. We all have a different, unique value proposition. We all are very different. Now, mentors are not people. Sometimes when you say invest in a mentor, they quickly associate investing in a mentor with a cost factor, with money. A mentor may not necessarily be someone you're paying money. There are mentors with different mentorship programs, like I do. I do offer a mentorship program where it's in broken down into tiers. It's I have 3 months, 6 months, up to a year. And there are mentees I have worked with for over 3 years. It depends on everyone's journey. It depends on where the person is, and it depends on what the person wants out of what they are investing in. However, a mentor can be someone you're looking up to. Say, for example, you may have heard of Oprah Winfrey, or maybe the president of Nigeria, or maybe the president of the United States, or maybe someone in your community. Could be someone in your municipality, could be someone at your school, could be someone at work. It could be someone you've never met, but you're aspiring to be. That person is a leader. And you know what? I am looking forward to becoming someone like this, someone even better. So, what you do, you always choose a leader who's a mentor who's above you, a mentor who's already where you want to be. And then now you do research. Now we have so much information in our hands. So you do research. Now there is what you call information overload. Do not look into information overload where you're overloading yourself with information. Filter that information. There is what you call information filters. The information you receive, you filter, and you take what works for you, and you incorporate it in your daily life. So for example, if someone is aspiring to be a fitness trainer, and you don't have the money to invest in a mentor, look for a fitness trainer in your community that's already where you want to be. Speak with that person, invite the person for breakfast, invite the person for lunch, reach out to that person on LinkedIn or on Instagram, and start taking baby steps to get to where you want to be. But mentorship, people underestimate the power of mentorship. And you don't necessarily need to have just one mentor. You can have as many mentors as you want. I have a financial mentor. I have a global speaker mentor. So I have different mentors to fulfill different needs in every area of my life.
I sincerely appreciate you for taking the time to have a beautiful insight in regards to these questions in regards to mentorship, which shows that it plays a very, very powerful role in every single area of our life. And also, we have to be very much careful in we choosing what aligns with our values, the kind of mentor which align with our values. And also, it can be anybody. It could be someone we never met. It could be someone that could be around us that really shows us the path and also understand who we really are as humans. It depends on how we can connect. And that is why we have to understand ourselves as humans and who we truly are as a person so that we can know the kind of person we can pick that align with our values, that also can give us a sense of encouragement and also courage to continue to move on and also continue to give one the guidance, because sometimes it is always not easy and we always need someone to get us back up to the front. And also, I would like to drive to the point of mistake, because in regards to every single person who is making mistake in regards to when it comes to leadership, some people, I know you've dived to the point of fear, but those who are also in the position whereby they fear making mistake in visible roles in some areas in their life, they feel like they have this kind of fear of making some certain kind of mistake that could cause a lot of damage in their life as well. How do you think they can also try their best to build the sense of courage to lead
Mhm.
while still learning and also growing, Mrs. Pamela?
That's an excellent question. I am in a point in my I am at a point in my life right now where I don't like the word mistake, because for me mistakes are lessons. Mistakes are the point that allow us to pivot in our lives. But to answer your question, visibility can feel so intimidating. And because it exposes us, our very humanity, I see mistakes, they are not failures, they are feedback. So when we start looking at mistakes as feedback, they become part of the leadership journey. So I presented a keynote in January in South Africa, in Johannesburg. And my keynote was from fear to forward. This keynote is built on that very truth. that fear is not a stop sign. It's an invitation to grow. Because you know what's costing us? Hesitation is what cost us. But moving from fear, you build courage by taking action while still learning. Because remember, you made a mistake because you didn't know better. But if you use that as a lesson, it means you're learning in the process. You don't need to be perfect to lead, you need to be willing. And with that willingness, that's what makes us successful because confidence grows through experience. The more you step into visibility, the more you will realize I can handle it. You know, sometimes, as you may agree with me, we go through trials and tribulations. We go through hardships. And in the midst of the hardship, at the time we're going through it, we think it's the worst thing that could ever happen to us. But then when we cross that hurdle and we get to the other side, we look up and we say, thank God, because we learned so much from this. Mistakes are data. Use it as data, not definitions. Courage is built through repetition. Growth requires repetition and it requires visibility.
Thank you so much for the profound and also beautiful insights, Mrs. Pamela. It shows that every mistake we have is a sense for us to grow, it's a sense for us to learn, and it's a sense for us to also see what we can do and also develop ourselves as well. It shouldn't be a sense for us to be scared of. It will always come around in our life, despite we being alive. It will always be a position whereby we have to pivot and also try our best to see the mistake we've learned and also develop ourselves in those kind of situations as well. I sincerely appreciate you for those profound and insightful insights, Mrs. Pamela. And lastly, I would just like to drive for you to drive us to the point of how we can separate people in terms of habit or mindset. So what habit or mindset do you think separates people who want to simply want success from those who are truly prepared to lead others well? Mrs. Pamela.
This is profound. What separates leaders, successful leaders from not successful leaders, what separates people who achieve their goals from non achievers is your mindset. And what that mindset is about is a positive mindset. We focus a lot on what we feed our bodies in terms of the food that we take in. We focus a lot on other aspects of our lives, the amount of money we have in the bank. But sometimes we do not focus on the most powerful thing ever, which is what the food that we feed our minds. And that is from the books we read to the television shows that we watch to the people that we surround ourselves with. Research has proven that we become the average of the 5 people that we spend our time with. So if you are spending time with losers, you ought to become a loser. If you are spending time with people who are learning, you will become a learner. If you are spending time with people who are just seated outside on the block, surely, slowly but surely, you will become one of those. And so I advise everyone listening today, first and foremost, surround yourself with people who you are going to gain something from. And when I say gain something from, I mean people who are already ahead of you, people you aspire to be, people who are going to implant seeds you are going to gain information from, gain positive information from, because you know we live in a world where we are bombarded by negative information. Thirdly, every human research has also been proven that we have at least 60 to 70,000 thoughts going through our minds every single day. And 65% of these thoughts are negative, which means only 35% of those thoughts are positive. And so you need to safeguard that mind, because your mind is what controls your body. If your mind is telling you to eat an orange, you will eat an orange. If your mind tells you to eat an egg, you will eat an egg. And that is why it is so important for aspiring leaders to make sure that they deliberately choose to focus on the positive. You know, a lot of the times we have things happening around us. We get so distracted, and it's easy to focus on the things we do not have. But my advice is to focus on the little that you have, because the more you have is the more you will get. My advice to young people, my advice to aspiring leaders: surround yourself with people who will help you grow, and feed your mind with the food of nourishment. The news will always be there. Negativity and distractions will always be there. Cut out everything that does not serve you. There are times you need to declutter as we go through seasons in our lives, just like we go through winter, we go through summer, we go through autumn. The same way through our lives, we go through various seasons. And as leaders, my advice is to choose positivity in everything that you do and be empathetic, knowing that you're dealing with human beings. Always be empathetic and lead from a place of love.
I sincerely appreciate your encouragement, Mrs. Pamela. And you said it all. The mindset plays a very huge role in every single area of our life. And that is why we have to try our best to safeguard it and also try our best to control ourselves, because when it comes to leadership, it's very important for someone to know how one can control him or herself. It is very important. And the mindset as well, how we can also safeguard it as well. I also use this opportunity to thank you for the great insights in regards to young people or aspiring people who want to drive themselves in terms of leadership as well. Mrs. Pamela, there is also a question I normally ask during the end of the show. From our forefathers, from our ancestors, there are a lot of beautiful things that do exist during our ancestral time that is missing in our time today. If there is anyone or anything you would like to bring back to our time today, Mrs. Pamela, what do you think that thing would be, ma?
That would be the belief in a higher power. That would be the belief in God. For me, I am where I am because I believed in a higher power. I believe that even the Bible says it, we can have, be, or do all things through Christ who strengthens us. I believe bringing back our very foundation. Now we live in a world where we have schools, they don't even pray. When I was growing up, the first thing we did from home, at home, was to pray. I was brought up in a single parent household. My mom raised 5 children, 4 girls and 1 boy. My mom today is my greatest inspiration. And I believe if she had not given us the foundation of prayer, the foundation to grow on God, we would not be where we are today. All 5 of my mother's children are doing exceptionally well. Thank God for that. But when we were raised in a single parent household, but she made sure every morning we would all come into her bedroom, kneel down and pray. And she would end the prayer by says together. Today, my family, my siblings and I, we all have a very close-knit family. My mom still lives in the Caribbean, St. Lucia, and I am here in the United States. We are spread all over, but we speak to each other every week. I speak with my mom every day. Now we have schools. When we went to school, we started school with prayer. We ended school with prayer. We blessed our meals. Let's look at a house. You cannot build a house without a foundation. it will fall apart. Try building a house, put one brick, the brick will not stay. It's the very same thing. My message to young mothers, to young people, to aspiring leaders, to know that we did not create this world. There was a higher power who built it. And the way we can help our children and help our young people to build a better world is to start with God, to have a foundation, because you cannot have a house without a foundation.
Honestly, I appreciate you for the profound and beautiful insights. And as you said, there is always a higher power in regards to every single thing that we do in life. The creation of the sun, the creation of the earth comes from a higher ground. And we as humans also come from a higher ground. And we are also brought on earth for a specific task. And we, for us to fulfill the specific task, we need to continue to connect to the higher ground so that it will give us the sense of direction and the right path to go through so that we can know the right thing to do at the right moment. So I also want to use this opportunity, Mrs. Pamela, to thank you for the time, the opportunity you've given to me today. Because to be honest with you, you sound more like someone who grew up in Africa. Your voice seems like someone that's really grew up, to be honest. As in you really spoke more clearly like an African. So I want to use this opportunity to thank you for the time, the opportunity. Thank you so much, Mrs. Pamela.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Just want to say for those people who want to reach out to me, who will listen to the podcast, I am on Instagram as Pamela M. Robinson. I am on Facebook as Pamela M. Robinson. I am on LinkedIn as Pamela M. Robinson. And my email address is info at pamela-fusionforce.com. That's info dash at pamela-fusionforce.com. It's been a pleasure on this podcast. I appreciate you. I appreciate what you do because our leaders need to hear those words. You know, a lot of young people are going into leadership without the skills of knowing how to deal with people, how to love people, how to work with people. And I believe we need more people like you. So I want to thank you for your time. And just to put it out there, I South Africa. I was in South Africa in January and I love it. I have been invited to speak at a conference in Nigeria in May, and I should be in Nigeria in a month and a half. I look forward to it.
Definitely. I hope I also have the opportunity to say hi to Mrs. Pamela. Thank you so much for the time
That
and the
would be
opportunity.
great.
Exactly. Have a wonderful day, Mrs.
Thank you.
Pamela. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.